So, bonjour, we are doing linguistic competence and linguistic performance from book 1. Understanding how humans use language is an important part of linguistics. How humans use language. Two of the most influential concepts in this field are linguistic competence and linguistic performance. These ideas were introduced by Noam Chomsky, one of the most well-known linguists in the world. He made a clear distinction between the knowledge of a language and the actual use of that language in everyday life. What is linguistic competence? Linguistic competence is referring to a person's internal knowledge of their native language. It is the unconscious ability to understand and create grammatically correct sentences. This includes knowing how words are formed, morphology, how sentences are structured, that is syntax, what words mean, that is semantics, how sounds work, phonology. This knowledge is usually automatic and silent. We don't need to think about grammar rules every time we speak. For example, if someone says she go to school, a native speaker immediately knows this is wrong and that it should be she goes to school. This correction happens naturally without conscious effort. That is an example of linguistic competence in action. According to Chomsky, every speaker of a language has a mental grammar which is not taught directly but learned through exposure. This knowledge allows us to produce and understand an infinite number of new sentences. For example, you can understand a sentence you have never heard before, like the dog that chased the cat that climbed the tree barked loudly at the mailman. Even though you never memorize a sentence, your linguistic competence helps you understand it perfectly. What is linguistic performance? While competence is about knowledge, linguistic performance is about actual use. It refers to the way we speak or write in real life situations. Unlike competence, performance is affected by many external factors such as nervousness or anxiety, fatigue or illness, distractions, the environment, social pressure. So now we have to perform. We have to start talking in French or in English. Even a person with perfect competence can make mistakes while speaking. For example, a person may say, I go to the market instead of I went to the market. If they are tired or nervous, these are the performance errors, not signs of poor competence. Performance is what we observe and hear, and it can include pauses, repetition, hesitation, mispronunciations, or unfinished sentences. It is imperfect because it reflects the real condition under which we use the language. Illustration: the tale of Mari. The story of Mari and the silent language offers a simple and powerful way to understand these concepts. Mari's linguistic competence was strong. She had read many books, memorized poems, and deeply understood the structure and rhythm of her language. She had all the knowledge needed to tell a beautiful story. But during the storytelling competition, her performance was influenced by nervousness. She paused, stammered, forgot some lines. Her competence was not the problem. Her performance was affected by external factors. This shows that linguistic performance does not always reflect a person's true knowledge. You can know a lot about a language and still struggle to express yourself clearly under pressure. The story teaches us that competence is like a garden in your mind, always full of beauty and potential. But performance is the act of walking through that garden, sometimes gracefully, sometimes clumsily, but always meaningfully. So what is the analogy? Writer versus actor. Here's another useful comparison. So like a writer's unpublished manuscript, carefully written and full of potential, is competence. But a performance is like an actor performing that manuscript on stage, influenced by stress, audience, and emotions. Competence is internal and mental. Performance is external and observable. Competence is perfect, organized, and rule-based. Performance is imperfect, emotional, and varied. Competence is constant and stable. Performance is changeable and situation-based. This analogy helps us understand that a person can know a knowledge well, like a writer, but still make mistakes when speaking, like an actor. Why is the difference important? Understanding this distinction is important for several reasons. 1, 2, 3, 4. Language learning. Students might understand grammar well but struggle with speaking fluently. Teachers should not assume poor performance means poor learning. Linguistic research. Linguistics focus on competence to understand how language works in the brain, separate from mistakes caused by tiredness or distraction. um, Speech errors. Mistakes in speech are often performance errors. This helps researchers analyze what causes breakdowns in communication without blaming the speaker's knowledge. Bilingual speakers. A bilingual person may have good competence in both languages but perform better in one due to social or emotional factors. So what's the conclusion? Linguistic competence is the mental knowledge of a language, its grammar, structure and possibilities. Linguistic performance is an actual use of language in real context which may be affected by various external factors. This difference, first explained by Noam Chomsky, has become a central concept in linguistics. It helps us understand that knowing a language is not the same as being able to use it perfectly all the time. Whether in language learning, teaching or linguistic theory, recognizing this distinction allows for a more realistic and compassionate understanding of how humans communicate. In the end, what matters most is not perfection, but the courage to let your inner garden bloom, even if the walk through it is not always smooth.